Hey guys, hey Jeremiah. This is just an update on Logan, and I wanted to show you where we're at. So we're trying to do a very action-oriented interpretation, but still have a real sense of grisly, determined, stoic sort of strength. So he's going to be quite stocky, he's going to be bulky, he's going to have tons of detail, but he's going to be really energetic at the same time, because we're trying to capture that ferocious wolfness, Wolverine-esque type thing going on, and he's also just a master hunter. So what we've got is like a bunch of stuff here. You can't see it all, but there's a lot of space with Space Marine stuff, some space with Terminator stuff, and some other bits and pieces. The diorama that we're creating is one where he's fighting a Necron and an Orc, and he's standing astride a pile of Necron and Orc body parts. So he's just been fighting this massive three-way battle, and he's just been racking up the body count. And in one hand he's holding his axe, and he's cleaving a Necron in half with the legs, just taking his legs out from underneath him with a sort of swing down on one knee, and with the other arm he's pointing into the sky and shooting an Orc through the midriff and blowing him in two, and he's not even looking at the Orc, he's busy focused on the Necron. Just happens to shoot the Orc out of the sky with his twin link bolter without a second thought. So what does that look like so far? Well, let me just first start by saying that it's a different scale to Mephiston and Dante, so it's been a real challenge for me. It's a Terminator scale, so Mephiston and Dante are a little bit larger, which meant that with the armatures and the wire and the green stuff, I could really work the posing, really bend the legs, really get sort of a humanistic dynamism into the sculpt, into the conversion. And I was worried that I wouldn't be able to do that if I was restricted to the scale at which a Terminator is created, because of the way that their body parts fit together. Not so. I'm really happy with where I've got to. This is the first day, so we're only in early days yet. Got a basic pose down, got the axe coming together, got the left hand detail, and I'll just stop talking and I'll show you where things are at. So this is the basic pose, and this is the rock here that he's on, sort of curving up into the sky there very dynamically. He's on quite an acute angle, and you can see that he's in the middle of swinging his axe along the ground. He's got his leg out in a sort of martial pose, and he's taking out the Necron, who will be here sort of off the edge of the board, having his legs split out from underneath him. I'll probably be able to extend the arm a little bit and just straighten that arm. We'll see how we go. I don't want it to be too ridiculous. I am working off a photograph that I've taken of me in the pose, and we had a photo shoot with several different concepts, and this is the one we came up with. But then translating that to a Space Marine with all of their constrictions and confinements due to their armor is a little bit challenging, but I think that we've achieved it very closely here. This head is just standing in, but that's the direction he'll be facing, looking, snarling at the Necron. And then we'll probably use this head actually, because it's a great face, and then we'll just add lots of green stuff to make him old and grizzled and hairy. We've got the wolf on the top here from the kit. I think it's from the Terminator kit, and that's just over the top with its fangs coming down. I like that style, and we'll put in all the green stuff at the bottom there, and make that all flow really nicely. I am looking at some other options. I really want to do a bit more John Blanche energy in this piece, and I think that the Chaos Warhounds are really ferocious and crazy looking, and I think they'd make a very good wolf substitute. So I might just try that as an option on the head, have it be a bit more wild and a bit more sort of Blanchian, because that's always good. So that's the angle there. He's like, sort of, I'm just trying to see if you can see it from where I like to look. Something like, where is it? It's when you pick it up and hold it, something like that. He's like, wow, it's pretty epic. And then let's have a look over here. Oh, well, firstly, let me just show you all the parts that I've used. We've got some Terminator legs here, some Space Wolf legs down the bottom. Everything's been cut, like the toes have been repositioned, the ankle area. We've got a transfer of one leg to another here for this wolf detail, and we'll put in some filigree and some extra green stuff detail around that leg, because it is showing. Normally it's a bare leg, but it's the one that's showing in this case, so we should dress it up. I like this torso here. It's the most imperial looking. And he does have that diamond motif on his axe, so I wanted to carry that through. I think that's a chest area fit for a leader. We'll dress up this whole thing with necklaces and bits of pelt and all sorts of stuff, so that'll all be blocked in. And then we can have a look over here at the wrist area. It's a standard Terminator shoulder pad, left bare as per the original design, and that'll be painted over or decaled. Then we've got a different Terminator upper arm. We've got some plasticard there at the wrist. We've got a Space Wolf glove here. Let's take the head out so we can see this better. Space Wolf glove here, with on top of it the Space Wolf Space Marine filigree inlay thing that's separated, so you can swivel that around and stuff, position it. Then we've got the hand, which belongs to a Grey Knight, going to the axe handle, which is a halberd handle from a Grey Knight, then a Space Wolf axe handle, then a bit of sprue with 2 frost axes on the chips there from 2 different Space Wolf models that will probably be extended down, potentially even out, and then we've got a whole bunch of different designs here for how we're going to inlay that axe and put detail into it with wolf heads and all sorts of things. We'll see how we go. So that's the number of chops that went into that. Let's have a look here. What have we got? So this is the left arm with my custom twin linked bolter. I'll show you it here. So the way it works is he's sort of got his hand out in a trigger pose, as if he's pulling the trigger to fire away at this guy without even looking. And that's 3 separate fingers, and there's 2 separate fingers here from a different hand to create the pose. You can see I've green stuffed that together, and then a lot of green stuff work in here to get the straight arm, which is not a usual thing to come by. And then we've got the standard Terminator shoulder here, which will be extended down to the wolf maw, but that's what's on Logan's shoulder normally. Comes out here into a chainsaw fist, so we've got that extra chainsaw section there that'll be joined up. And then we've got our ammo feed box here that sits on the side and plugs in to the twin link bolter, which is custom barreled because I wanted to get, and then some custom detail on the side here. This is taken off another Space Wolf Storm bolter, just some detail on the side, and a wolf skull mounted on the top, and that'll all be green stuffed and fixed up with some extra details added. But I just wanted to say that this bolter obviously is oversized. These barrels are a little bigger than usual, but I think that was deliberate on my part. I wanted to have like a massive gun on his arm. Just looks like it would blow you apart. We'll drill some holes and add some detail to the barrels, make sure that they're all nice and painted up and imperial looking. The idea is to have, instead of having bullet flashes, we're going to have actually clear perspex coming out of here, in the shape of like ripples or a screw motion that the bullets would travel, kind of like the ripples you see in the Matrix when the bullets travel. And then the orc's body will be about here, and then there'll be some red resin coming out the back where the blood is exploding. So you'll have this sort of like bullet trail, and it will be actually holding the orc. So that's how the orc will be attached. It'll literally be attached to the gun, which I think will be pretty cool. So we'll see how that goes. And then the angle of that will be sort of like that. He'll just be pointing it up, and he won't even be looking. Something like that. So I'm going to carve away this shoulder area and make sure that fits. Maybe reduce the length of the arm a little bit, and then he'll blow in the orc. So it's a little off center. I mean, there's a lot of area here, and obviously the orc will be hanging out here, but that's my style. I want to put in all sorts of body parts and stuff here and underneath the rock. So he's sort of standing in this mountain of body parts, and then here's the Necron there getting cleaved under the legs, and he's sort of split apart and falling apart, and he's like growling. And then after that we'll have like the rough down, and what we'll do is really get a sense of motion. The way to do that is, well, we know that he's swinging the axe in this direction from back to front, and he's spinning from right to left. So what that means is that there'll be some trailing ribbons on the axe in a curve like this going around that show us that it's been traveling in that motion, and his cape is going to come out the back here and around the front and up. So the orc will be up here somewhere, the gun arm, the cape will come under the gun arm and up around in front of us like that, because he's spun around away from us. So the cape is slowly following him around. Not slowly, but it's catching up to him and following him around. So that cape work will be sort of wolf pelt around here, and then a bit of like just cloth coming out the front, tattered and blowing in the winter storm. So I'm assuming you're going to paint this in a sort of wintry theme, but either way, it should work really well. So let me just finish up that pose and get all that detail in. We'll add some extra detail, then we'll get the cape work done. So that's my update for you, Jeremiah. And hope you're as excited as I am. I think it's looking really great. Can't wait to try the Chaos Hellhounds on it, and we'll see where we get to in the next day or two. Okay, thanks everyone for watching, and I'll keep you updated. Cheers.